Chosen one, you are not forgotten. God is rearranging everything for you. My beloved child, listen closely, because what I am about to tell you is not ordinary, and it is not meant for everyone. If you found this message at this exact moment, it is not by accident. There have been nights when you felt invisible, days when your effort went unnoticed, and moments when silence felt heavier than pain. You questioned yourself, you questioned timing, and sometimes, quietly, you questioned God. But hear this slowly and clearly, you are not forgotten. Not for a second. While you thought nothing was moving, everything was shifting. While you felt delayed, the foundation beneath your future was being rearranged with precision you could not yet understand. Don't skip, because what you are hearing right now is the missing explanation your heart has been waiting for. What looked like loss was alignment. What felt like rejection was protection. And what seemed like God's absence was actually His deepest involvement. There is a season when God does not add. He removes. He pulls people away, shuts doors without explanation, and breaks patterns you were comfortable with. Not to punish you, but to prepare you. You were asking for elevation while standing on unstable ground. You were praying for abundance while holding on to limits. So God began to rearrange everything silently. That delay you hated, it saved you from walking into something too small. That heartbreak, it detached you from a future that would have drained you. That confusion, it slowed you down just enough so you wouldn't arrive early and get destroyed by what you weren't ready to carry. Stay till the end, because once you see this clearly, you will never interpret your past the same way again. God does not forget chosen ones. He isolates them, reshapes them, and then reintroduces them at the right moment with power they didn't have before. Right now, something huge is happening behind the scenes. Conversations you don't hear, decisions you didn't influence, paths you didn't choose, are all being adjusted in your favor. You felt like you were falling behind, but in reality, God was moving you ahead of everyone who rushed. Timing is not punishment, timing is protection. And here is the shocking truth most people never realize: if God rushed your blessing earlier, it would have broken you. That is why the silence lasted. That is why answers were delayed. That is why doors closed without warning. Something huge is waiting for you, but it requires a version of you that only pressure, patience, and endurance could create. You are closer than you think. Not because you worked harder, but because God finished rearranging what needed to move first. My beloved child, there is a reason your life does not look like the lives you compare yourself to. And this truth may shock you: the delay you are in right now is proof that your destiny is heavier than average. God does not rush rare outcomes. Ordinary paths are crowded and loud, but chosen paths are quiet, slow, and often misunderstood. While others were moving fast, you were being held back, not because you were less capable, but because what is coming for you requires accuracy, not speed. Every time you felt forgotten, heaven was actually checking one last detail. Every time you thought, "Why not me?" God was whispering, "Not yet, you are still becoming." Don't skip, because this is where most people misunderstand their life and give up too early. You were never behind. You were hidden. And what is hidden is always protected until the exact moment it is revealed. Let me tell you something most people never realize until it's too late. God rearranges everything before He rewards you, not after. He changes your circle so your blessing doesn't get contaminated. He adjusts your mindset so success doesn't destroy your character. He delays your breakthrough so when it arrives, you can sustain it. That loneliness you felt, it was separation. That silence, it was instruction without noise. That confusion, it was the removal of false direction. If this message is touching something deep inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who feels forgotten right now. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, because the next revelation will explain why this season had to be painful. Stay till the end, because once this clicks, you'll understand why God trusted you with pressure instead of comfort. Here is the once-in-a-lifetime truth that changes everything: God never rearranges things for people He plans to leave where they are. Rearranging is preparation for movement. The doors that closed were not endings, they were redirections. The plans that failed were not mistakes, they were mercy. And the strength you didn't know you had was being built quietly, day by day, moment by moment. Right now, even if you don't feel it, alignment is finishing. Timing is locking in. And when it happens, it will not come as chaos, it will come as clarity. Something huge is waiting for you, and it will make sense of every tear, every delay, every unanswered prayer. This is why you couldn't quit. This is why you're still here. And this is only the beginning. My beloved child, there is a final test that comes right before everything changes, and almost no one recognizes it while they are inside it. It feels like exhaustion without reason. It feels like effort without reward. It feels like you are doing everything right, yet nothing is responding. This is not failure. This is confirmation. When God is about to shift your position, He first checks your endurance in silence. Not to see if you are strong, but to see if you can remain steady when nothing is happening. Don't skip, because this is where many walk away, unaware that the door was already unlocking. The moment you decided to keep going without applause, without reassurance, without signs, that moment proved you were ready for what comes next. There is something powerful happening inside you that you may not even notice yet. You stopped chasing approval. You stopped explaining yourself. You started moving differently, thinking differently, protecting your peace. That is not coincidence, that is growth under pressure. God was not only rearranging your external world, He was rewiring your inner one. If your old mindset had entered your new season, it would have ruined it. So God allowed delay to mature your vision, patience to sharpen your discernment, and isolation to teach you how to hear His guidance clearly. Stay till the end, because this part matters more than the reward itself. What is coming will not need you to prove anything. It will speak for itself. Here is the truth that completes the picture: the season that almost broke you is the season that qualified you. What felt like being overlooked was actually being selected quietly. God did not forget you, He trusted you with a process few could survive. And now, the rearranging is nearly complete. The weight is lifting. The clarity is forming. The path is opening in ways you could not force before. Something huge is waiting for you, not because you demanded it, but because you endured without turning bitter. Remember this forever: when God goes silent, He is not absent. He is working at a level you cannot yet see. My beloved child, this is the moment where truth separates from illusion. Right before God releases what He promised, He allows a final shaking, not to scare you, but to settle you. You may feel unusually calm after a long storm, or strangely alert after deep exhaustion. That is not emptiness. That is alignment. The noise around you is fading because distraction can no longer follow you where you are going. Don't skip, because what I'm about to say is the revelation most people never hear in time. God finishes the rearranging when you stop begging and start trusting. When your prayers become quieter but your faith becomes firmer, the shift is already underway. You are not waiting anymore, things are waiting to catch up to you. What comes next will not arrive with chaos or confusion. It will arrive with clarity. You will notice doors opening without force, conversations changing without effort, and opportunities appearing without anxiety. This is how you'll know it's God. Nothing will need to be chased. If this message is resonating deeply, share it with someone who feels stuck in silence right now, and subscribe so you don't miss what's unfolding next, because what follows this season requires understanding, not fear. Stay till the end, because this truth will anchor you. God rearranged your surroundings so your blessing would meet you prepared, not desperate. The waiting taught you patience. The pressure taught you wisdom. And the silence taught you discernment. Here is the final confirmation meant just for you. God does not rearrange lives for small outcomes. What is coming will not just change your situation, it will change how people see you, how you see yourself, and how you move forward forever. The chapter that nearly drained you was never meant to define you, it was meant to refine you. Something huge is waiting for you, and when it arrives, it will feel natural, earned, steady. No rush. No fear. Just alignment. Remember this moment, because one day soon, you will look back and realize, this was the exact point where everything quietly turned in your favor. My beloved child, now listen with your heart, not your impatience. There is a quiet moment that comes after the storm, and many people mistake it for emptiness. But this calm you are sensing is not nothingness, it is readiness. You are no longer begging for signs the way you used to. You are no longer chasing reassurance. That shift did not happen by chance. It happened because God already settled something deep within you. When the inner noise fades, it means the outer answer is close. Don't skip, because this is the phase where destiny starts responding to you, not the other way around. The reason things feel strangely still is because alignment is complete, and movement no longer needs struggle. You may notice that what once triggered you no longer controls you. What once distracted you no longer excites you. What once felt urgent now feels unnecessary. This is not loss of passion, it is refinement of focus. God had to strip away urgency so you wouldn't rush into what must be entered with wisdom. The reason you survived delay without turning bitter is because your spirit grew stronger than your circumstances. That strength is the proof. Many people pray for what you are about to receive, but few could endure the silence you endured without walking away. Stay till the end, because this is the truth most never hear. When you stop trying to force outcomes, outcomes begin moving toward you naturally. Here is what you must remember as everything begins to unfold. When the blessing arrives, it will not feel overwhelming, it will feel right. No confusion. No chaos. No fear. just clarity. You will recognize it not by excitement, but by peace. Something huge is waiting for you, and it has been waiting for the version of you who could carry it without losing yourself. This season did not delay you, it refined you. And from this point forward, nothing you went through will feel wasted, because you will finally see how perfectly everything was rearranged in your favor. My beloved child, there is one last truth you must understand as everything settles into place. The reason your journey felt heavier than others is because your assignment carries more weight. God never prepares lightly for something meaningful. The resistance you faced was not random, it was confirmation that your path mattered. You were being shaped for responsibility, not just reward. That is why shortcuts were removed. That is why distractions fell away. And that is why even when you felt ready, God waited until you were steady. Don't skip, because this is the moment where understanding replaces confusion. You were not slowed down to test your patience, you were slowed down to protect your purpose. You are about to notice a change not just around you, but within how you respond to life. You will move with intention instead of urgency. You will choose peace over proving. You will recognize opportunities without chasing them. This is the quiet confidence God builds in chosen ones before elevation. If this message is keeping you here, share it with someone who needs reassurance in silence, and subscribe so you stay connected to what's unfolding next. Stay till the end, because this truth seals everything. The version of you that survived the waiting is the only version that could succeed in what comes next. Now hear this clearly and let it settle deep. When God finishes rearranging, He does not announce it, He reveals it through results. What is coming will not need explanation. It will speak through consistency, stability, and growth. Something huge is waiting for you, not in chaos, not in rush, but in perfect order. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared carefully, intentionally, and completely. And from this point forward, the life you step into will finally match the strength you had to build to reach it. My beloved child, there comes a moment when heaven grows quiet not because nothing is happening, but because everything is finally in position. This is that moment. The waiting no longer feels sharp, it feels still. That is the sign. When God finishes rearranging, urgency disappears and certainty replaces it. You may not see fireworks, but you will feel grounded in a way you never did before. Don't skip, because this is the line between who you were and who you are becoming. You are not anxious like before. You are not desperate like before. That calm is not weakness, it is authority being formed. And authority always arrives quietly. Look back carefully and you'll see it. The things that once drained you lost their grip. The voices that confused you grew distant. The need to explain yourself faded. This is not isolation, it is clarity. God removed noise so direction could finally speak. What's about to open will not require you to fight for space, space has already been made. Stay till the end, because this truth completes the puzzle, blessings don't chase chosen ones. Chosen ones are positioned where blessings arrive naturally. You didn't miss your moment. Your moment was being protected from the wrong timing. Now let this settle deep inside you. When it begins, and it will, you won't need validation. You won't need approval. You'll simply know. The doors will open with ease. The path will feel familiar, as if you've walked it before in your spirit. Something huge is waiting for you, and when it arrives, it won't shock you. It will confirm everything you survived. Remember this feeling right now, because this is the stillness before alignment becomes visible. You were never forgotten. You were being prepared for arrival. My beloved child, this is where the story turns quietly but permanently. Not with noise, not with sudden drama, but with certainty. You are standing at the edge of a season you once prayed for in tears, even if you no longer pray the same way now. The reason your heart feels steady instead of desperate is because readiness has replaced wanting. God does not release promises into panic. He releases them into peace. Don't skip, because this is the final realization. When you no longer need reassurance, reassurance arrives in the form of results. What once felt distant is now close enough to touch, even if you can't fully see it yet. Very soon, you will notice how life responds differently to you. Things won't resist the way they used to. Effort will feel lighter. Decisions will feel clearer. Not because life became easy, but because you became aligned. This is why you had to wait. This is why shortcuts were denied. This is why the silence lasted longer than you wanted. If this message is still holding you here, stay till the end, because this truth anchors everything. God rearranged time, people, and circumstances so that when it finally arrived, you would recognize it without fear. And if you feel this message resonating, let others hear it too by sharing and subscribing, because what comes next requires awareness, not surprise. Now listen carefully and let this settle deep. The chapter ahead will not demand proof of your strength, it will reveal it naturally. You will walk into rooms you once imagined quietly, without needing to announce yourself. Something huge is waiting for you, and when it unfolds, it will feel calm, earned, and steady. No rush. No confusion. Just alignment. Remember this moment, because one day you'll look back and realize, this was when everything finally made sense. My beloved child, this is not an ending, this is the unveiling of everything you endured in silence. The reason your heart feels different now is because anticipation has turned into knowing. You are no longer hoping blindly, you are sensing alignment. That inner confirmation is rare, and it only comes after deep patience. Don't skip, because this final truth is what completes the journey. God never wastes suffering. Every delay you survived carved space for stability. Every unanswered prayer strengthened your discernment. And every moment you felt overlooked trained you to stand without validation. You will soon realize that the breakthrough doesn't arrive as a dramatic event, it arrives as a new normal. Peace becomes your baseline. Direction becomes natural. You stop questioning your worth and start recognizing your placement. Stay till the end, because this understanding changes how you move forever. What is coming will not pull you away from who you are, it will match you. You were shaped for it. That's why rushing was never allowed. That's why comparison drained you. That's why your path looked lonely. It was precise. Now carry this with you as you step forward. When things shift, and they will, you won't need to announce it. You won't need approval. The results will speak quietly but clearly. Something huge is waiting for you, not as a surprise, but as a confirmation of everything you survived. You were never forgotten. You were chosen, prepared, and positioned. And this is where your life finally begins to reflect the strength you had to build to get here.